In this video, we'll teach you 5 tips for painting portraits of people. Welcome to Acrylic Arts Academy. We teach the world to paint. Subscribe to our channel for helpful acrylic painting videos. Hit the bell icon to be notified of our upcoming tutorials. When it comes to acrylic painting, some techniques can be particularly tricky. No matter your skill level, some basic tricks can help make the difference between a good painting and a great one. While it might seem like you're just slapping paint onto canvas, a lot of science and technique is involved in creating the perfect portrait. Painting a portrait is a beautiful chance to exercise your creativity and bring someone to life on a canvas. There are many methods and styles to make your portrait look lifelike, but some universal do's and don'ts will help make the most of your painting experience. Tip number 1 is to study the masters of painting. If you're interested in learning to paint portraits, it helps to start by reviewing some of the greatest artists who ever lived. This way, you can see how they approached painting in their time period and what techniques worked best for them. The people who came before us have done a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Now, it's just our job to incorporate their discoveries into our own creative process. You may not be able to recreate the effect of a specific artist's style perfectly, but they'll still provide great inspiration as you practice painting portraits of your own. Tip number 2 is to use light and shadow to reveal detail. One surefire way to add interest to your painting is by showing off plenty of detail through contrasting light and shadow. The eyes, lips, and other prominent features on a person will naturally stand out when they're significantly darker than the rest of the face. The best way to get comfortable with your subject matter is to observe what works in other portrait paintings. When you study the masters of painting, you'll quickly notice that they use light and shadow very effectively. When we look straight at a person, we can see all details of the face. There are many shadows and areas of light and color revealing those details. We don't usually pay attention to these things consciously, but by observing how artists create shadows, we become more aware of them and can use them to our advantage. It's helpful to think about essential parts of the portrait like eyes, nose, and mouth as being lit up or in shadow. Tip number 3 is to learn varying portrait orientations. As a beginner, you may find it easier to paint portraits using a 3/4 or profile view. The main reason is that it's easier to see the face when looking at it from the side rather than straight on. If you look at someone in real life, they're most likely looking away from you. It's only when they turn to look directly at you that their face becomes fully visible. It takes time and practice to develop an eye for what's happening in a person's features when they're in profile or 3/4 view. Tip number 4 is to be patient and work in stages. When learning how to paint, most people will tell you to work on one piece at a time. You should do this anyway, but it's especially important when painting portraits. Working on a portrait is a job that takes time and patience. Setting deadlines for yourself or having a strict schedule can lead to an unpleasant experience. You shouldn't have to pull an all-nighter to finish the project. The best thing to do is to take breaks when you need them and take as much time as you need to complete the job. It's really easy to get discouraged when you've got an entire face staring back at you and you suddenly realize you have no idea what color eyes go with the freckles in your reference photo. Instead of getting frustrated, slow down and take it step by step. Rather than trying to paint the entire face in one sitting, focus on getting the shape of the head right, or maybe the hairline, then work on the ears, hair, and neckline. Work your way down until you've got the entire portrait done. Tip number 5 is to study face anatomy and research faces. Undoubtedly, the biggest factor in painting a realistic portrait is understanding the underlying anatomy of the face. To better understand face proportions for painting, check out our tutorial on this subject by clicking the card in the upper corner of this video. This link can also be found in the description below. The more intimately you know how the eyes, cheeks, ears, nose, and mouth are shaped, the better you'll be able to paint them. As with any art, painting a portrait is more than simply putting paint on canvas. To create a vivid, lifelike image of someone you care about, you need to understand that person's features and the proportions in which they're arranged. When it comes to painting faces, that means knowing the basics of facial anatomy. It's so easy to jump right in and start painting without planning, but doing so will only get in your way when it comes time to add details like eyes, ears, noses, and mouths. Instead of trying to paint those things from memory, research online or find magazines that feature pictures of faces. Study the anatomy of the human face until you're familiar with its basic parts and proportions. This will help ensure that your portraits look more realistic than ever before. We hope this video taught you some helpful tips to paint better portraits of people. Subscribe to this channel for more helpful acrylic painting videos like this. Give this tutorial a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let us know what you liked in the comments below. See you next time! Begin your acrylic painting journey by visiting acrylicartsacademy.com/free guides.